for a very long time, as a civic club president, as a neighborhood activist, then as a council member, controller, and now as mayor. We know that when we all know each other, when we know who belongs in our neighborhoods, what time we come and we go, who's supposed to be there, and who's not, we're safer. National Night Out is an opportunity for neighbors to interact with neighbors, for neighbors to get to know the officers that patrol their neighborhood, and for all of us together as a community to work together to make us all safer. Unfortunately, it often takes a tragedy or a bad incident for those kinds of neighborhood interactions to happen. You know, after Ike, when we were all without power, we were in each other's homes. We met neighbors we had never met. We were sharing food. National Night Out is an organized way to do that. Now, I am very glad that in Texas we don't follow the National Night Out pattern of doing it in August like the rest of the country. It's much nicer to do it in October, but whenever we do it, it's just intended to be a fun, friendly, neighborly gathering with a serious purpose, and that is all coming together to get to know each other and to make our neighborhood safer. And then interesting things happen quite beyond the public safety aspects when we all come together. Folks decide to work on a neighborhood improvement project. Folks decide to clean up something together or create a community garden. So National Night Out pays dividends in other ways. I have the official proclamation celebrating the 29th annual Houston-Harris County National Night Out. And I'm going to present that proclamation to Executive Assistant Chief Durden, since McClellan is out of town right now. But therefore, I, Niece Parker, Mayor of the City of Houston, hereby proclaim October 2nd as the 29th annual Houston-Harris County National Night Out in Houston, Texas.
Thank you. Thank you, and I accept this certificate on behalf of our Police Chief Charles A. McClellan Jr. and all the men and women of the Houston Police Department, and but more importantly, all of our partners who are standing here with us, the partners here, and also the partners present out in the community. As most of you already know, National Night Out was founded in 1983 in Wynwood, Pennsylvania, by a gentleman by the name of Matt Peskin. The Houston Police Department has been participating in National Night Out with the City of Houston since 1985, and we are very proud that along with our partners in Harris County, this region of the state has received numerous awards for our participation rate, the number of events we host, and the number of citizens who come out to those events. Last year we had over 600 events and about 55,000 participants. So on behalf of Chief McClellan and the men and women of the Houston Police Department and Mayor Parker and all of our partners here, we invite you to come out tonight, celebrate, get to know your neighbors, come out tomorrow night that is, celebrate, get to know your neighbors, enjoy the camaraderie and the special relationship that bonding together can help us all in the fight against crime. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Parker and Executive Assistant Chief Mike Durden. At this time, we'd like to introduce and bring up Harris County Judge Ed Emmet, who will also make a special presentation to Harris County Sheriff Adrian Garcia.
Well, good morning. This has become an annual tradition for Houston and Harris County, and it's a good one. And as Mayor Parker mentioned, we all think back to Hurricane Ike when Mayor White was in office, and we were asked by the national media why things went so much better, and it really was because neighbors helping neighbors, and it was kind of a forced situation. We really don't want to do that again. This is not as forced. So hopefully people throughout the county will take advantage of this opportunity and get to know their neighbors. You know, I'm kind of ashamed to admit I don't know all of my neighbors, and we should, because there will be times of need. Sometimes the need can be relatively minor. Other times it can be very major. But we are in a large county. Over 4 million people live in Harris County. To say there are lots of neighborhoods is an understatement. There are communities, and we need for those neighborhoods to be more like communities, where people really do watch out for each other and take care of each other. So with that in mind, it's my pleasure to represent Harris County Commissioners Court here today. We adopted unanimously a resolution recognizing this annual National Night Out in Harris County, that it will be held tomorrow night, just so we're clear. We don't want anybody getting out there early unless you just want to practice. But tomorrow night's the official night out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I won't go through all the whereases and therefores, but let it be resolved that Harris County Commissioners Court designates Tuesday, October 2nd, 2012 as National Night Out in Harris County, Texas. Calls upon all citizens to join the Harris County Sheriff's Office, Harris County Constable's offices, City of Houston Police Department, and many other law enforcement agencies in this area, as well as the National Association of Town Watch, in supporting and participating in this very, very important endeavor. So on behalf of Harris County Commissioners Court, Sheriff Garcia, it's my pleasure to present this to you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, and as Chief Durden said, it is a good day when the community can see law enforcement shoulder to shoulder, working together to keep our neighborhood safe. But it is imperative, as both Judge Emmet and Mayor Parker have said, that we can't do it alone. We need the help of neighbors. We need the help of nosy neighbors. We need the help of people who are concerned about those who are a little further along in age, or those who may have a few ailing situations that may require being gay. But in that regard, we're all working together. We all have to take care of one another. And I'll tell you that when you find that you know your neighbors, and you can know them in two ways. You can know them as the folks you can count on, like I have in my neighborhood, the guy that I can borrow his chainsaw whenever I need it, or deliver an extra plate of food when we have it. Or you can know your neighbor who comes in and out at all hours of the night, doesn't want to associate with anybody else, doesn't want to participate in those positive community activities, and probably might be up to no good. Those are the neighbors that we need your help to eradicate out of our community. And that's why it's important that law enforcement work together, but it's also most imperative that the community share information with law enforcement so that we know the things that we have to focus on. In that regard, I also want to encourage folks that tomorrow night, download your free mobile phone app, I Watch Harris County, as a anonymous way to text in to us, as most people communicate nowadays, text in to us that suspicious activity that may be occurring out there that you want any one of the law enforcement agencies or communities in Harris County to respond to, and we'll be happy to make National Night Out a night where we take the bad guys out of the neighborhoods and put them into the county jail. So thank you so much, and thank you all. And let's give an applause to all the law enforcement officers in Harris County.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you also, Adrian Garcia, Sheriff with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. At this time, we would like to recognize our corporate sponsors who are involved with us for National Night Out. We're from Target, which is our national sponsor of National Night Out. We have Chris Bettiger, and at this time, Chief Durden, you could please present this certificate of appreciation to our Target representative, Chris Bettiger.
Chris, on behalf of all the law enforcement agencies in Harris County, and importantly on behalf of the citizens of Harris County, we present this certificate to Target for your outstanding contribution, not just for National Night Out, but you've been an outstanding partner in this community for a long, long time. Thank you.
And if you would please assist me, we will have Jennifer Mills, who Walmart, one of our
There you go,
contributing
Jennifer.
sponsors.
And listen, thank you for all you do to support the community at large, but in particularly for supporting the neighbors who are concerned and want to keep Harris County the safest county in America. Thank you so much for what all that Walmart does. Everybody go shop at Target and Walmart.
And at this time, we'd like to send out a lot of thank yous to various groups. The men and women that you see flanked on both sides, we'd like to thank our divisional liaisons who have worked and coordinated with our community groups and civic groups for National Night Out and throughout the year. Can we give them all a round of applause? We'd also like to thank a lot of our volunteers that help us with the events. From the Houston area, we have the Houston Citizens Police Alumni Association and also PACA, which is a new ecumenical group, which stands for Police and Clergy Alliance. They will also be doing ride-alongs with many of our officers also during National Night Out. So a round of applause for our volunteers, please. We would also like to recognize any dignitaries that are with us, and one that we have with us, and we're very glad to have her, Councilwoman Ellen Cohen, Vice Chair of our Public Safety Committee. And last but not least, I would also like to recognize our department-wide coordinator. Every year he looks at me and says no, but he is like the Elmer's glue that keeps all this stuff together and to make sure that things run very seamless. Jesse, please raise your hand so you can be recognized.
I'd like to hear from the agencies that we have here. We've talked about Houston and Harris County, but there are a lot of agencies represented coming around. Shout it out.
Precinct 3.
Anybody else?
Harris County Precinct 5.
Harris County Precinct 1.
Harris County Precinct 6.
Harris County Precinct 8.
Harris County Precinct 7. Harris County Precinct 4.
Harris County Precinct 2.
Metro Police Department, on behalf of Chief Victor Rodriguez.
Houston ISD Police.
Anybody else? And is that a council member over there? Okay. Councilmember Davis back there. Oh, you can see him. You know, it's a good thing you're tall. It's important to show that we have a lot of law enforcement agencies here in the greater Houston area that work closely together, and we're all participating in National Night Out. I wanted to make sure that they all got to be mentioned. All right, I think that's it. Are there any questions?
Mayor, after having this event for close to 30 years, how do you gauge the success of these events after the parties and all the activities of Night Out are over?
One of the things that shows how successful they are is that the neighborhoods are eager to do them each year. And as soon as one ends, they begin planning for the next year's National Night Out. And they have grown much beyond just what they originally were intended, getting to know your neighbors so it could all be about public safety. This is a social outing that really cements neighborhood bonds.
If one's neighborhood isn't having an activity, is there a way to find out where other activities are going to be taking place?
I'm not sure I understand.
Is there a place you can, like a website or something where we
Go
can?
ahead and
That information can be found on the HPD website at houstonpolice.org. On the homepage, there is an icon that looks just like this, the National Night Out. You can click onto that, and that is where all the information is about sites and coordinators and contact numbers.
I have a question for Sheriff Garcia. You talked about, the neighbors who want to participate in things and the neighbor who has weird habits at night. What are some tips you have for citizens about how to, people don't know their neighbors like they used to. What tips do you have for people, either at Night Out or other activities, to know who's who and what's what and what's going on in the neighborhood?
It's just like I mentioned. I'll tell you that, first of all, when I first moved into my neighborhood, as I was looking to buy the house and was doing the house shopping, my neighbor showed up and wanted to find out if I was going to keep my yard cut, if I was going to be looking out for them, because we got a couple of folks who are up in age, and whether I was gonna take care of my property and was I gonna look out for them because they look out for everybody. It's that kind of attitude to have as a neighbor. You know, it's to actively, proactively go out and engage the folks that are gonna come into the neighborhood. I think that's important because once we spoke with him, he walked away, kind of did his little checklist, and then he walks off. I looked at my wife and I said, we gotta buy this house. Because that's the neighborhood we're walking into. So, number one is to instill that attitude on any given day and any opportunity. The other thing too is, just as I also mentioned, you know when your neighbors aren't feeling well, you check on them, you call on them, you ask them to pick up your mail if you're traveling, things of that nature. It's those little things, is making sure that there's an ongoing line of communication, as the mayor said. It's not just tomorrow night, it is every night. National Night Out should be an attitude and an action every single night, every day of the year.
Are there any other questions? Well, we want to get a big group shot, which is kind of hard to do in here.